Till in April of 1996, Taco Bell announced in 7 leading U.S. newspapers, including the New York Times, that the company had purchased the Liberty Bell to reduce the country's debt and renamed it the Taco Liberty Bell. Outraged people were happy to hear that it was an April Fool's Day prank. I remember that. People were legit pissed. The press secretary joined in and announced they sold the Lincoln Memorial to Ford and renamed it the Lincoln Mercury Memorial. I miss the days when we could have fun in the political realm. The campaign cost $300,000, equivalent to about $489,000 in 2019, but generated an estimated $25 million, equivalent to about $40,800,000 in 2019, worth of free publicity, with a sales increase exceeding $1 million, equivalent to about $1,600,000 in 2019, for the first 2 days in April. Deception, good or bad, tend to pay off way more than it arguably should. I remember this as a current event. Libertarians were enraged to learn it wasn't real. There was also a prank like that, where it was going around they were signing corporate sponsorship to pay for the war in Iraq, brought to you by Taco Bell. It's funny because back in the 70s I remember each Taco Bell having a real Liberty Bell type metal bell installed at the top of their store facades. The storefronts were kind of designed to look like Adobe-made California missions back then. This reminded me of Idiocracy, 2006. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. They can have it if they bring back the Mexican pizza. Could have been a Wheel of Fortune puzzle. I have always wondered about the Liberty Bell's symbolic status. It really should be an emblem to shoddy workmanship. There are much larger bells in Europe that are way older than the Liberty Bell that are still being used today. The Liberty Bell cracked less than 60 years after it was made. How pathetic. Fuck, I'm old, I remember this like it was yesterday. I worked at the Liberty Bell several years after this. Some of the older staff recalled having to deal with the outraged public. I was not happy to hear. I thought the debt was history, that the real heroes of the country had stepped up. But alas, that is a fucking amazing April Fool's Day prank. Props to Taco Bell. Warning, this comes true in April 2026. Sponsored by Carl's Jr. Maybe it's just an extended April Fool's prank of them getting rid of so many fan-favorite menu items lately too. I miss the days when Taco Bell was creative. They invented fourth meal, infused Doritos into tacos, and even used to have a talking dog. I find this Michael Scott business plan rather interesting. Say something Michael Scott would say, but make sure it's on April 1st just in case people get upset. I recently found a stash of Taco Bell sauce packets with sayings on them, circa 2003 to 2004. I wonder if there is a collector's market for that. A symbol of American freedom being owned by Mexican fast food seems oddly fitting, and the funniest thing about it was their Chihuahua saying "Got eem." Love how people get outraged at everything. I remember that in the Washington Post. People were pissed. I thought it was hilarious. This sub has just turned into advertisements. This reminds of an old tale. https://www. google.com/amp/s/www. New Yorker.com/humor/dailyshout/lpd Libertarian Police Department/amp. Haha, I remember that. Good times, and that is how fake news was born. Whoever got upset was an idiot. Give me liberty or give me enchiladas. Either one. Reduce the country's debt? You could liquidate the entire parent company Yum! Brands, KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell, and you wouldn't make a dent in the country's debt. Lived in Philadelphia at the time and remember reading that article. The outrage was real. One of the best April Fools ever. I would totally believe that headline these days. Taco Bell was crushing it in the 90s. Demolition Man, Taco Bell dog plus Godzilla, weed coming back in a big way. Good times. I was working in a congressional office at the time and the phones were ringing off the hook. And some callers still couldn't get that it was a joke. But others did and I joined them in laughing. Wow, I was only 6 at the time and had completely forgotten, but this triggered a memory of people raging about this near me. You can hear the ring of Tuesdays to this day. They were really missing a grand naming moment of Taco Bell. I remember this well. My destined to worship Trump parents were pissed. Good times. I'm still waiting for them to announce that discontinuing all of their potato items and now shredded chicken items was a poorly timed April Fool's joke. Commenting on April Fool's stories in October. Damn if this ain't some low effort shit. Till that Republicans still can't critically think. Taco Bell has had some great marketing in the past. Remember when they put that big raft out in the Pacific and said if it gets hit by the mirror? A simpler time when going viral was about creating water cooler talk. They should have actually bought it on the second. It was in the LA Times too. I thought it was hilarious. And then I bought a burrito. School was across the street from a Taco Bell. Yeah, can put a crack in my arm like the crack in the Liberty Bell. If you're ever really constipated, Taco Bell will take care of that shit for you. I remember this one. It was epic. The internet was pretty crap back then and this thing swirled around on cable news for a little bit. Good thing Taco Bell didn't actually buy it or they would have eliminated it by now. Rip potatoes, shredded chicken, Mexican pizza, outraged. I hate that fucking word. My main takeaway is that we missed out on a new Taco Bell location in Old City. Yup. I have it laminated and framed. Fuck, I remember swearing at Tom Brokaw before he said April Fools. We'll see you here tomorrow night. I remember this. It was hilarious. Imagine getting upset about what happens to a broken, poorly made bell. I remember this. This is my favorite type of advertising. I wonder if it's because they're the only ads I ever see anymore. They should buy it now. Help with you. Dead. LOL. Of course people would get mad about this LMAO. The good old days when you could outrage people and they'd laugh it off and we'd all go to Taco Bell for dinner. I remember that well. First time remember getting got by a corporate prank. It was a full-page ad in my local paper. Meanwhile the Taco Bell in Liberty, New York remains closed due to a pre-pandemic fire, with tacos and justice for all. I'm still waiting for the great franchise wars like in Demolition Man, which results in every restaurant being named Taco Bell. Bring back the Mexican pizza. How many of you are now considering visiting your local Taco Bell tonight? Coming this fall to a theater near you. In a world where the entirety of the United States has turned a purple hue, burritos and cheesy gordita crunches are on the rise, and only one man can muster the strength to face against the dictatorship known as Taco Bell. He is known only as Juan Juic. I remember when this happened. Great prank. Instead, they have Taco Bellevue Hospital, NGL. I'd have been kinda happy to know there was something at all being done to reduce the national debt. Now that is funny. /r/Hail Corporate. Oh 1996. You were a simpler time. Give me Taco Bell or give me death. If it was Carl's Jr., then I would have been a little more concerned. I, for one, am personally sick of Taco Bell's gaslighting. What percentage of people outraged at this become Red Hatters? Years before I attended my high school, a senior made a prank by selling the Catholic school through a newspaper and they even had bidders. Coincidentally he was my orthodontist when I attended the /r/Hail Corporate. Mods have an option to report political agendas, but no option to report corporate marketing campaigns /corporate agenda. Okay then, man, people can get saucy. Did I say liberty? I meant taco, Paco. I liked the target they set up in the ocean where everyone would get a free taco if Mir hit it. The concern for the 1996 national debt should have been your first clue. And then they proceeded to culturally appropriate what became the Taco Bell dog. As a European I'm confused. I've never heard of this Liberty Bell. XD. Good advertising. I'm betting these were the same outraged people that complained about Janet's nipple.